Good afternoon, everybody. I'm on the theme today about going within the earth. I've been drawn to connect to the earth, connect to parts of myself that's been asleep for a long time. I've been through a lot in my life, and a lot of people, well, most people have no idea. And I don't talk much about my past, about what I've been through. It's just that we're all human beings, and every single one of us are down a path that can be quite difficult at times. And we think we forget that. We just assume that everybody's life is beautiful and happy and full of rainbows. But that doesn't make us human. We come here to challenge. We come here to rise above and to do the best we can do. And that's being human. And sometimes we forget that life is like that, even though sometimes we don't want it to be. But those times make us strong, make us who we are, make us exactly what we need to be. And so I'm going to go into that part of myself. I know I've done a lot of light language videos. I don't know if this is what this is going to be. All I know is when you start doing light language, it calls you, and it calls out to you as well. So I do what I feel like my heart wants me to do, and what my heart wants me to share. And sometimes that is not what everybody wants to hear, but is what it needs to be at this time. I do many different things in journeying, but for some reason I'm being called to go into what I would call the cave within myself, or it's going into Mother Earth. It's not going into a dark, dingy cave. It's going into a cave. It's going in to connect to Mother Earth. And a lot of us think that caves are a horrible thing, full of evil because they're dark. But a cave has no light, but it can have sound, especially of water, of dripping water, not flowing water, but water that drips, water that could be thousands of years, if not hundreds of thousands of years, to go and reach that spot in the hollow within the cave to drip down into the like underground lake or underground puddle or whatever you want to call it, because it's very, very different depending on what type of style of cave it is. But it's very interesting that the water in the caves could be thousands of years old or hundreds of thousands of years old. And we forget that. We forget that water took a long time to get to there. So when it fell onto the earth was a completely different place. So the water in caves are very, 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 very connected to the earth energies. And I'm being drawn to do a journey within the cave again. So this is what I want to do. I want to take you to a journey into the cave, into the space which is going to be revealed to me, because I never really know what the journey is going to be. When I leave it up to the universe, the journeys can be quite unique, quite different. And yeah, that's sometimes the best thing about journeys, is that you never know what you're going to expect. If people think that they go in here with an idea and come out with some type of script, I think that they have no idea how busy my life is. And the second thing is that I don't know what's going to happen. I go in there with an intention of saying I want to share this message, and it could be completely different. But usually your intention is the way to go towards it. But when you go somewhere without an intention, you never know what you're going to get. You could think that it's going to be light language. You think it's going to be going into the cave, and you could be walking down a field full of flowers with unicorns and Pegasus. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. So I think the misunderstanding of people is what exactly we're doing, what I am doing. I am connecting on to energies. I'm connecting on to the souls. I'm connecting on to my soul, my higher self. So I never know what to expect. It's not simply making shit up as you go. It is allowing the energies to flow. And that's the difference, because if I try to make it up, it totally comes to a screeching halt. And when you do journeys, the more less interruptions you have, and the more focused you are, the deeper and more into the journey you can become and go in, or whatever you want to call it. But ultimately, it's allowing the energies to flow as they're meant to flow, and they flow through you. And for me, it's a very visual and feeling experience. Some people are 90% feelings and 10% visuals. Some people are anywhere in between. I'm very visual, but I also feel. But my visuals are very, very strong in my journey. So it's like me, I'm like walking through a movie. It's quite beautiful, but also difficult, because you see things that you have to let go of, because you see horrific things. It's not just feeling the energy, it's walking into a room that is very disturbing, and I'm telling you, it's sometimes the most disturbing thing. So this is why journeys aren't necessarily for everyone. My style of journeys go into places that people that have a hard time letting go of, and not everybody's meant to do that though, but I am. And that's my strong point, is to go into dark places and past lives that are difficult in order to heal them and bring them at peace, bring those energies, release them, transform them into something beautiful. And it's very rewarding. But it might not be the easiest thing to understand. But sometimes we're not meant to understand everything, but our souls are. So this is a little brief thing of what I do. So I'm just going to close my eyes here, and I'm going to walk into a cave. The first cave that comes, I'm asking Spirit to guide me to the cave that I need to go into. So I walk forward into that cave, and it's covered. The cave has grass growing over it, and it's not grass. It's like vines and stuff like that. And it's a huge opening, a very, very large opening. And I walk into that cave. And it's in a warm climate. It's not a cold climate. I'm walking down the cave, and it's not super. I hear sounds of water in the distance, but that the entrance of the cave is not soaked. It's quite dry. But I know as I go down into this cave, it gets quite. You can hear the sound of water from the distance. So I walk in, and the only light I have is coming from myself. And that's the thing, you always have light coming from yourself unless you want to shut it off. And then you'll be in total darkness, but that would be up to you. There's mushrooms in this cave, and I can see there's water. The sides of the cave here are quite wet. And it's not that there's a water dripping down yet, but the water sides of the cave are quite wet. And just the sides though, and the mushrooms grow from the sides of the cave. I keep going down further and further. It's a very quiet place down here. And I come into a huge opening, and there's something sleeping in the center. Something very old. Something very ancient. And it's curled up, and it is sound asleep, and are surrounded as water, like a lake, and water drips from the ceiling down into the lake. So this area is quite wet and quite interesting. It is a dragon that's in here, and it's been sleeping for a very, very long time. It's actually quite beautiful in here because it's lit up by algae or mushrooms that give off its own light. It's actually quite interesting to see. And water itself isn't deep. As I walk, the water is up to about my ankles. And as I get closer, I realize that the pedestal that this dragon is on is quite high. It is really, really high. And I'm actually looking up at it, and it's like, wow, this is so much bigger. It's like when you see something up above, looking down, and you go down to actually experience it, and you realize that it's much farther away and much larger than I anticipated. So I actually float up, and as I stand, this dragon is hundreds of feet long, and it's curled up, and it's sleeping, but it knows I'm here. And this could be a version of my own soul that is asleep and has been asleep for a very long time. There's actually vegetation that has grown up around this dragon. So it's actually submerged with a very interesting vine type energy or plant. And it grows just from the tiny little bit of light from these mushrooms that are glowing, and algae. Creates like a very beautiful bluish hue. And there's even some colors of reds and purples in here as well, and even some yellow. It's a really interesting place. It's very, very surreal looking. And it's actually astonishingly beautiful. So I actually touched the dragon, and the head of the dragon is like bigger than myself. I'm quite small compared to what, like I stand, like a tooth would be about the length of me in a way. It's so, maybe not quite that long, but its dragon is quite large. An eyeball would be almost the size of my body. And it has been sleeping for a very long time. I start to cut away, the vegetation has grown over it, and as I do that, I'm whispering a sound, like a blowing sensation, like a wind. It's a sound I do repeatedly as I'm taking the vegetation off, and it creates the dragon to move its head, like kind of like it does this type of motion, like you're blowing air within its ears. So it starts to shake its head, and after I get all the vegetation off, I blow really, really, really loud into its ear, the energy. The dragon rears up and looks at me, and he stares intensely at me. His eyes are a blaze of blue flames. We are part of each other, and that is very evident. But he's been sleeping for so long that we almost don't recognize each other. He takes a few minutes to look at me, to look me up and down and wonder. I look up at him, and I breathe in again, and I show him my heart. I open my chest, like I almost peel my chest open and show him the love and energy that's within myself. And I open like I do this, and I open my heart like this, and it creates this beautiful light that appears. And he looks down within the light, and as I notice, he is very much a white dragon, but he's also a very, very old dragon. And he looks down at me, and it's like a grin appears on his face. And he looks and he speaks to me. He speaks to me in a very difficult language. And I know I've tried to reproduce this language in the past.
Nine say son. Ein say. Born in day. Son in. Nay ein day. I see. Yai. Ye. Non yai. In see. Say, doom I say, O England die, sin I, O sein son, O say. In say, di say, Mandy, do say son, one say, wo see. Nayan, I say, morn, so, nice. Onyan. Ozi. Mornyayo. Duyan. Non Dio San. Si kai yando sight yambo Durian. Ian O say to your mind. Onin. Boy sang thee. O kinte momtai. Sikoraindu. I need your kisan. Ondai. Andorigabo. Nai nongi. Yasai. Dunyosi. Yendosan. Dayanai. Born. Doro andai. Dia. Boniso. Ianto. Wayanasan. Dornisan. Dorniso. Daiasi. Tomosasan. Omnia. Dosokoria. On so Yasan Doman Dosi Dakim Hontian Oyan ya Tino Koson Porayan I Toko si komandandai Sianomon Soko si anatai Andi an tokin wandandi wandayalfo naikantaisa turonian doinsi Monday Nondi Doranai Mon Diazina Dosikaman Diakatorain Sanaia Nokia Patai San Dukorakisamo Dayantasaya Pokianomon Dayasito Kiam Sanai Dukon Sando Dayanai Sako O Nisa Dia poca sopa yanda sika und sen sakima pa Nayan Doni Mondai Daindai Tokoyaniaki Nasano Mayande Soni Dayano No San Dayan Nika San Mai O Manai Orm Nai Oai Namori Niako Sinai Orai Nai Ao Noro
Uringan Royado. Siando Topasanamaya Akatam Huamoki and Asiatora. I see a world in chaos. I have broken free. I have set myself free from the cave. I am now one. Diranai. We are one. The light shines into the cave. Where once one slept has now been awakened. Once without light is now full of light. May the dragon stay in the light. May myself stay in the light. May all of you stay in the light. Thank you. Ori Nasanayo. The dragon has been awakened within myself.
Non dai. O Maiden. You are in my Orion.
Tokika Nasan. I stand between two worlds. No more. I stand together as one. He and I. And now I must find and retrieve the other half. Oh, day and night. Tisamakanti. We are both the dragon and the light. I am the dragon and I am the light. So what waits within the light? The one thing that we forget is the dragon and all living things and all spiritual things are both light and dark. The ones that have walked the path of both understand this. My dragon is both light and dark, but I also have an angel within, which is both light and dark. I am going to go into the both sides of each one. I will go to the dark side of my angel to retrieve it from the depths. No. But I needed the dragon within to be awakened. Brought into balance once again. No Kyuman. We are all many things. We are all one. Nahiyan. Will you journey with me? Antori. Into the depths of where my angel, the dark side of my angel, has been lost for so long. This will be a difficult journey and is not for everyone. My dragon was both dark and light already and stayed within the depths of both, a place where it could be light or dark. But my angel sides have been separated. One went dark, deep down within the earth. The other one is in the highest of the high. Journey with me. Thank you, everyone. And I'm going to do that journey right away in my next video. This will be the first one, and then the second part will come. Thank you very much, and if you want to do a journey with me, you can visit my website at almanrasawakening.com. And you can visit my Northern Lights page at josephbradleyroars.com. I will stay connected to this as much as possible for the next journey. Have a wonderful day.